Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AR Legends, and yeah guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was neglected by his family and mocked by his sisters and adopted brother. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the previous part of this series, and if you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out, you guys will definitely like it. And yeah guys, I have made my manhwa recap channel, the link is in the description below. At the moment, it is at the very beginning of its stage and I have uploaded some video on it. So if you guys are interested in manhwa recap, then do subscribe to the channel and support it. It would be really grateful helpful to me. And yeah guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be really helpful to me as I want to reach 13k subscribers, and you guys subscribing would be really appreciated. And yeah, the link of my Instagram is also in the description below. So please follow me on Instagram. So without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto had regained his memories of the future in which he was a demon emperor in the ninth realm, as he had challenged the beings of the ninth realm. But in the end he was betrayed, but he was able to use a last resort technique to went back in time, and finally he had merged with his past self. The first thing he decided to do was to get rid of his so-called family as Mito entered in his room, which was the oldest of his sister, and started to yell at him that how dare he hurt Menma and how precious Menma was and things like that. But Naruto did not really care. He simply decided to control her mind as she tried to break it, thinking that it was just a Genjutsu, but that was the biggest mistake of her life. In the end, her mind was completely controlled by Naruto's demonic energy. Afterward, Naruto decided to, you can say, play along with the play his family was playing at, as Menma started to accuse Naruto of hurting him by using sneak attacks and things like that, as Kushina was comforting Menma and saying that how Naruto was just a beast and how dare he attack her precious son Menma. But Naruto simply ignored her and told them that how they were simply talking nonsense by showing them that how he cannot even enter into the library, so how could he steal scroll. But Menma once again decided to, you can say, play along and saying that how he had hurt him and things like that. But in the end, Naruto simply threw a paper to Minato saying that how he should sign it and cut ties with him, as Minato was pretty angry, confident that Naruto would return. After all, he was the Hokage. There was no way Naruto could survive without his support, so he simply signed it to teach Naruto a lesson. After all, he was the Hokage and not a fool. He only wanted Naruto to be not so cowardly and things like that. So Naruto decided to leave afterward, but not before breaking some of the teeth of Menma. Afterward, Naruto decided to leave Konoha and decided to, you can say, go along in the elemental nations. After all, this was the lowest realm, but the thing about this realm was it was the most secure one, because the gateway to the upper realms was closed by the sage of six paths and the key would be required to open it once again. But the key was distributed among the Jinchurikis, or rather the Bijus. So Naruto decided to get his hand on the Bijus at the moment, while on the other hand, the industries under Minato and Kushina were decided to be targeted by Naruto, as Naruto decided to control the fire daimyo and the daimyo of the other nation. At the moment, he was in complete control of the elemental nation, and all the industries, either in the name or under the disguised name of Minato, were simply targeted by all the elemental nation, as Minato was furious about it, but there was little he could do about it. Even though he was the Hokage, he cannot control all the elemental nation. Hell, he cannot even completely control the Fire Nation. While on the other hand, Naruto has already taken down the Hidden Mist village, as all the shinobi decided to went there to find out what was that chakra signature. But in the end, they only found the ruins of a village. And afterward, Naruto decided to went to the Hidden Rock village to take care of the other two Jinchurikis as well. So yeah guys, that was the last part of the series. So if you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out. You guys will definitely like it. So yeah guys, let us start the story from here. So, I'm gonna start my story with the sage of the sixth path. He was at the moment trying to locate Naruto. For whatever reason, he was unable to do so. He was confused. After all, three of the part of the keys were already stolen by Naruto, and Sage was sweating hard. How is this even possible? The gateway to the upper realm was closed. If this being comes from the upper realm, then how is that he's here? It was simply not possible. As he was confused and scared at the same time, it seemed that he's gonna need some help to take care of Naruto as soon as possible. Otherwise, this being would bring end to the elemental nations. As he decided to finally make contact with his brother. While on the other hand, Minato Namikaze was looking toward the document with solemn expression on his face. He was angry, no, he was furious at the moment, but he hid it well. He was sure that those Uchihas, Hyugas, they were all working together to, you can say, attack his industries. But why is that the other nation, even though those industries, which were not exactly under his name but still controlled by him, were also targeted? It seemed that someone knew about those industries as well, which makes it someone who is in the village, who is, you can say, plotting against him. As he threw the paper away, as he let out a sigh, it seemed that his, you can say, prestige is going down at the moment, and the Hyugas and the Uchihas are already trying to monopolize the industries in which before he was in complete control of. As he gritted his teeth, once again the door opened, as this time it was Tsunade who entered into the room. Lord Hokage, I would like to talk to you something. As Minato looked towards her, what is it? Tsunade, as but before Tsunade could speak, another figure entered into the room. This was none other than Jiraiya, who entered from the window. As Jiraiya looked towards Minato, as he said, "Yo." As Minato looked towards his sensei, he had already figured out why these two people were here, but he simply decided to, you can say, humor them. As Jiraiya speak up, well, Minato, it seems that your training of Menma is going pretty well, but I've decided to up the training, so I want Tsunade to join in into the training so that Menma could learn about the, you can say, healing arts as well. As Minato let out a sigh, to be honest, he really didn't care much about Menma or anyone else. The only thing he cared about was his reputation and his prestige as the Hokage. The only reason he had truly married Kushina was not because of love, but because she was a Jinchuriki, and he knew that once the Jinchuriki was as his wife, he would have higher chances of becoming the Hokage, and that was a true gamble on his part. But he simply shook his head as he said, well, do what you must, Sensei, but at the moment you do have a mission to find out what was going on in the hidden mist village. If you cannot complete it, then I'm sorry, I cannot allow you to train Menma at the moment. After all, the village comes first. As Jiraiya frowned at that, he had already told his spies to gather information. There was little he could do personally at the moment. He wanted to argue, but the look in Minato's eyes has already told him that he's not gonna agree. As he simply sighed, well, Tsunade, you're gonna have all the fun on this one, so you can leave. As he gave Tsunade a wink, as Tsunade simply shrugged and decided to leave. While on the other hand, in the sky, Naruto was floating. As he closes his eyes, as three parts of the, you can say, key appeared in his hand. As all the parts started to combine together, lightning started to shake the sky violently as three parts has combined together. As Naruto looked toward these parts and smirked at it, he has already gathered three parts of the seal. It is time for him to get on with it. As he smirked and looked in the direction of a, you can say, hidden village, as he said, I've already found you, Seven Tails. After saying that, he disappeared violently, while on the other hand, in the base of the Akatsuki, as Pain was looking towards all the members of the Akatsuki that were gathered here. As he looked towards all of them, well, it seemed that someone is also hunting the Jinchurikis. It seemed that our control over the hidden mist village has been broken, and someone has stolen the three tails from there. Not only that, Zetsu has brought the information that the 4 and 5 tails are also stolen from the hidden stone village, as all of them were now confused at the moment. Who could be so powerful to simply destroy a hidden village? No, two hidden villages at the moment, as they were really confused. As in the shadows, Obito was furious. Whoever this guy was in his way of completing the Tsukiyomi plan, and he had to complete it no matter what if he wants to meet Rin once again. As he looked towards Pain, who also looked towards him, it doesn't matter. We have to find the other Jinchurikis as soon as possible so that when this guy comes for them, then we will be able to capture him and force him to hand over the other Jinchurikis to us. As well as all the members of the Akatsuki were now either confused or excited in the case of Kisame. So he decided to dismiss it at the moment, while on the other hand, Naruto has finally arrived in the village of Taki as he simply looked down to see a gigantic tree as he simply scoffed at it, the remnant of the 10 tails. He really didn't care about the 10 tail. His power may be impressive in the first realm, but in the upper realm, he really had hundreds of 10 tails in the demon realm. Nothing more than simply text. As he simply scoffed at it, but at the moment he really did not need the bijus. No, what he really needed was the keys. And this seven tail has the key as he simply decided to enter in a, you can say, silent way this time as he finally arrived in the place where the seven tail Jinchuriki was at the moment. Fu was confused. She was surrounded by four Jonis, and these Jonis were not exactly from the other villages. No, they were the Jonis of the Take village. As one of the Jonis smirked, well, demon, why don't you show your true face after all? We want to see what you're truly capable of, as he smirked at her as Fu gritted her teeth as she tried to attack him, but she was simply a genin at the moment, and even though she can use some of the power of the Biju, she was confident that the moment she even entered into the, you can say, semi-state of the Biju farm, she would be accused of treason and would be thrown in dungeon for attacking fellow comrades or some bullshit like that. While on the other hand, you can say Jonin smirked, already knowing that she would not dare as he once again attacked her, and she was already bleeding from the mouth as all the Jonins were laughing as Naruto finally decided to enter into the stage. Do you really feel strong after hurting just a child, As all the Jonins were confused, this was the place where only the Jonins or the Jinchuriki which protect the hero water could enter. Who dares to enter as he spoke up? As Naruto finally decided to show himself as he looked toward the Jonin, mere weaklings in his eyes. Honestly, he really didn't care about these people. They were simply too weak for his taste, even though his power is suppressed by the rules of the realms. But he still had more than enough power to destroy everything here. As they looked toward the four weaklings as they greeted their date, we do not know who you are, but you're gonna pay for coming here. You're clearly just a civilian, so how dare you to come here? As Naruto looked towards him, a civilian, you say. As Naruto looked towards him and a smirk came to his face, but then his eyes turned into black pitch as red. As he started to laugh, suddenly the sky darkened as red lightning started to, you can say, roar in the sky. All the people of the Taki looked toward the sky, pretty confused what was going on here. After all, everyone knows that the Taki village is surrounded by the seas to protect it. And how is that? The village was shaking at the moment as all the Jonins were confused. What was going on here? Could it be that some other hidden village is attacking? But they look towards Naruto, whose aura has started to emerge. The pure demonic energy started to surround the whole village of the Taki as all the shinobis freeze where they were, as they could not even move. This amount of power, it was so scary. While on the other hand, in far away in the elemental nation, everyone sensed once again the emergence of this power. Whatever it was too powerful as all of them looked in the direction of the Taki as Minato stood up from his chair. What was going on here? That was the direction of the Taki village. Could it be that whoever is attacking the other villages, the hidden mist village, is also attacking Taki? He was confused. After all, the news of the attack on the Hidden Stone village is not exactly spread yet, and Jiraiya was still in the village, so at the moment he did not have the information as Minato was really confused. Could it be that someone is targeting? Could it be that the Akatsuki has already started his plans to, you can say, capture the Jinchurikis? As he quickly shook his head and gave a signal as Ambu appeared, bring me Jiraiya, sensei, now. As Ambu disappeared as fast as he could, while on the other hand, all the other leaders like, you can say, Raikage and, you can say, Kazekage also stood up, looking in the direction of the Taki village. Only the leader of the, you can say, Hidden Stone village was not doing so. After all, his fate was already sealed. While, on the other hand, as all the shinobis of the Taki were already almost unconscious, only the higher ups were on their knees, not even able to move, as Naruto looked toward the four weak Jonis who were already on the verge of unconsciousness, as Naruto looked towards them as he finally calmed himself down. After all, this was just a low realm, only a, you can say, fraction of his power was more than enough to destroy this village, as he simply, you can say, shrugged his power off, looking toward the seventh-day Jinchuriki Fu. As Naruto looked towards her, honestly, she was not bad looking, so maybe he will allow her to live for now. As he looked towards her and started to walk towards her, as Fu was confused, as she was also almost on the verge of unconsciousness, but for whatever reason, something was holding her back from going unconscious. Whatever it was, you can say, not a good thing for her. As Naruto quickly appeared in front of her and looked directly into the eyes of Fu, and just like that, Fu's eyes turned into black with dark, you can say, pupil inside, as Naruto simply put his hand on her stomach, and just like that, her seal glowed. And while inside of the seal, the seventh tail let out a final cry of defiance, and before it was absorbed finally, and another part of the key was already in the hands of Naruto, as Naruto simply smirked at it as a portal appeared behind Fu, and Fu quickly walked inside of it, not even saying a word. And after that, Naruto simply disappeared from the Taki village, and just like that, the news spread like wildfire. The Taki shinobi were, you can say, really confused and scared at the moment. Whatever it was more than enough to destroy the village, but it has left it as it was, and they were confused. But when they, you can say, once again went to search what was going on here, they found that the Jinchuriki was missing, and that angered and scared them at the same time. Finally, you can say, Jiraiya was able to get the news about the Taki and the Hidden Stone village from some of the spies, as Jiraiya burst into the Hokage office, as Minato was present there, as well as the elders who had just arrived to give Minato some, well, advice on the matter. Well, anyways, as they were sitting there, as Jiraiya burst into, Minato, I have news for you. As Jiraiya quickly noticed the, you can say, elders that were present there, he cursed under his breath as Tadokage looked toward Jiraiya. Jiraiya, so you're back. I take it that you have information what is going on in the elemental nation, especially with the surge of energy which burst out 2 times. So tell us, what is the situation in Taki? As Jiraiya looked towards Minato, who simply nodded, knowing that there was no way around it. Even the third Hokage is not as innocent as he liked to, you can say, after all, the things he had done to the Senju, to the Senju and the Uzumaki clan was not exactly, you can say, hidden from Minato. So, as you can say, Jiraiya simply sighed inwardly. Well, the information I have gotten, it seems that the Hidden Stone village is also attacked by this unknown figure. This surprises and shocked everyone as Koharu speaks up. Jiraiya, are you sure about it? How is that a major hidden village is attacked? What is the situation there? Was this guy captured? As Jiraiya simply shook his head, it seemed that he simply entered into the village, took both of the Jinchurikis, and afterward disappeared. Even the Tsuchikage who had challenged him, he was able to control the dust release of the Tsuchikage who has released the attack towards this guy. And when the Tsuchikage attacked him with the dust release, he had controlled the energy and divided it into several parts, and using it to attack the surrounding shinobi. Tsuchikage tried to cut off his connection and, you can say, to release the attack, but he was unable to do so. All of his chakra was controlled by this guy to convert all of his energy into dust release and using it to kill other shinobi. This shocked everyone. Even third Hokage was sweating at this point. After all, he knew that if it were to come down to, you can say, fighting the Tsuchikage, even he would be in for a hard time, and he would even die if he were to be careless. But this guy was able to, you can say, toy with Tsuchikage just like that. Even Minato's eyes narrowed a little bit. After all, Tsuchikage, even though not the strongest cage, but still was pretty powerful, especially his dust release. Even a single attack would be more than enough to kill off a SS rank shinobi. So that was rather dangerous, and he took both of the Jinchurikis as Koharu spoke up, as her voice was shaking a little bit. Not only that, the information I have gotten, it seemed that the hidden mist, not even one of the shinobi of the hidden mist village was able to survive, not even a single one. So the information is not much about it. The hidden mist village is no more. So I suppose that there are only four major villages now in the shinobi world. As Danzo's eyes narrowed, this guy, whoever it was dangerous. But if we were to be able to control him with, you can say, with the eyes of Shisui he has stolen, then he would be able to, you can say, control him and rule over the elemental nations, as Danzo was already making his own plans, while on the other hand, and it seemed that even in the Take village, the Jinchuriki is missing Minato, even though they did not lose any shinobi other than four random Jonins. There are no casualties, but the Jinchuriki is missing Minato, as Minato slammed his fist on the table. Is that it, Sensei? Why is there no, you can say, description of this guy? Are we really do not know anything about him? As Jiraiya let out a sigh, there is only one information I have gotten, Minato, and that is his eyes were red. Nothing more than that. As Minato gritted his teeth, there were thousands, if not millions, of people who had red eyes in the elemental nation. That is not exactly a, you can say, description of the guy, but at the moment he had to do what he had. As he looked towards the elders and he advised elders, as he looked towards them, as Danzo spoke up, well, Lord Hokage, it seemed that this guy is far too dangerous to be left alone in the elemental nation. I suggest that the Ambu and the Hunter Nins were to be released toward the direction of the Taki. He would not have gone too far away from that location, and if he is, you can say, goal is the Jinchurikis, then we should secure our Jinchurikis as soon as possible, as Minato thought it for some time but nodded nonetheless. After all, the protection of Mito, Narumi and Naruko was important to him, even though he did not care much, but he was still their father, so he had to do to protect them, especially when he was the Hokage, as they simply nodded at that. And what about the other villages, Lord Hokage? As Koharu spoke up, as you can say, Minato said, well, we will send some information to these guys so that they can protect their respective Jinchurikis. As Danzo's eyes narrowed, he's not gonna let that information go to the other villages. But he did not say anything at the moment. After all, his root would take care of it. As Minato already knew what Danzo was thinking, but decided to, you can say, shrug it off. After all, he really didn't care about the other villages. So if they are getting weaker, then it is a good news for him as the Hokage, of course. As while on the other hand, Naruto was going in the direction of the hidden stand village. It is time for him to get the one tail as well. After all, he has already gotten 4 parts of the seal, so the 5th part should be on his way. But he noticed that some of the people were already present here. 2 S-rank shinobis, as Naruto looked down with a smirk on his face. So this must be the infamous Akatsuki. At the moment, Sasori and Deidara were making their way toward the hidden sand village. Pain had urged them to capture the one tail as soon as possible. Whoever this guy was capturing the bijous at a terrifying speed, even though they were not exactly ready for the things in the future. But it seemed that they have to up their plans if they want to capture all the Jinchurikis as soon as possible. So the Deidara and Sasori were flying in the air using their bird. As Deidara quickly noticed that they were being followed, as he looked back as well as Sasori to see that a guy was simply flying in the air. As Deidara narrowed his eyes as he quickly made some of the birds to, you can say, use it as an attack, as he finally stopped in the air. Whoever you are, show yourself. As Naruto simply looked towards them as he finally descended from the sky. As he looked toward Deidara and Sasori, just 2 mere weaklings, whatever you want. Whoever you are, get lost. I do not have time for you weaklings. At this, Sasori's eyes narrowed. You must be the guy who is capturing other bijous, if I'm not mistaken. As Deidara was taken aback. Hey, Sasori senpai, are you sure that this is the guy? As Sasori did not respond to him, your features, blue eyes, blonde hair, you look like John Daime. As Naruto looked towards him with a smirk on his face, well, of course, I am his son, you know. At this, you can say, Sasori's eyes narrowed. He had heard about the sun, which was captured by Orochimaru. After all, Orochimaru had bragged about it for some time when he had joined Akatsuki, as well as the unfavored son, called to be the disgrace of the Namikaze clan. But how is this possible? As he looked towards the sky, even though he could not sense much chakra from the sky, but he was flying in the air without using any technique. And not only that, he had a bad feeling about it as his eyes narrowed, while on the other hand, Deidara has already released small bursts towards Naruto, which has already surrounded him. Well, it doesn't matter. If you're the son of that damn yellow flash, then you will pay for his crime. Now, allow me to show you art. After saying that, he made a hand sign, and just like that, all the small birds that were surrounding Naruto went off as Naruto did not even move from that direction as a huge explosion took place as Deidara and Sasori were able to get out of the way of the explosion as Deidara was laughing. Ha, I already got it. While on the other hand, Sasori's eyes narrowed. Deidara went to the ground now. As after saying that, Deidara was still a S rank, even though he was a bit confused, but decided to follow the instructions. And just like that, he quickly moved in the direction of the ground. Just like that, the sky darkened as dark red lightning started to shake in the sky. When finally the dust cleared out from the explosion, Naruto was standing there, not even a scratch on his body. Damn weaklings, as he muttered under his breath, as Deidara and Sasori were already on the ground. As Sasori looked towards Naruto, who was still flying in the air, he has already brought out his best puppets. The power he was feeling at the moment was beyond this world. He was scared, but he will not say it. After all, the amount of power he was sensing, it was comparable to any Biju any day. He doubted that even the Nine Tails would be a match from the amount of power he was sensing at the moment. As Naruto looked down, as lightning was still, dancing in the sky. Once again, this power was sensed all across the elemental nation. Especially, Kazekage was scared. After all, it was far too close for comfort to his village. While on the other hand, Jiraiya has already summoned a gigantic toad, which was Kamamunta. Kamamunta went in that direction now, as Kamamunta make a gigantic leap towards the direction, already knowing what was going on in the elemental nation. He was just hoping that he would be able to arrive there, but it will still take some time. Hopefully, they would be able to arrive just in time to stop this guy from taking One Tails. After all, that is the direction of the Hidden Sand village. Even Minato's eyes narrowed. He wanted to go there, but as the Hokage, he cannot leave just like that. And he did not have Herosian seals in the Hidden Sand village, so he cannot simply teleport there. While on the other hand, Naruto looked toward Deidara and Sasori, who had already prepared their best plans and attacks, even though they were scared, as Naruto simply gave an evil smirk towards them. I'm gonna have a bit of fun with you guys. Let's see if you guys are good dancers. After saying that, Naruto moved his hand, and just like that, lightning came to his hand as Naruto made a simple finger gesture, and just like that, hundreds of lightning bolts rushed toward the direction of Sasori and Deidara as both of them were taken aback and they quickly decided to use their, best speed techniques, but they were still getting hit as Sasori's, third Kazekage puppet was already destroyed as he has summoned 100 puppets not to attack but to simply defend. This red lightning was truly something else. Deidara was even in the worst situation. His attacks only weakness was none other than lightning, and this lightning was even more dangerous. At the moment, his one arm was already cut off with the lightning, and he has several, bruises all over his body. His chakra was depleted to the point that he was barely conscious, as Naruto has already destroyed one part of the puppet of, Sasori, who was also in a miserable way. As Naruto looked towards them, but you're not good dancers after all. But anyways, since you guys are such a weakling, I will let you go on your merry way. As after that, Naruto moved his hand, and just like that, a ball of dark red energy started to gather in his hand as Naruto started to laugh. As afterward, his aura once again exploded as a huge, considered a spirit bomb or a Biju Dama that was the size of the attack, but the energy in it was truly demonic. As Naruto simply threw the attack in the direction of Sasori and Deidara, as both of them were truly miserable at the time. They could not even move, let alone do anything to defend themselves. And just like that, a huge, gigantic explosion took place in the desert of Suna. As Kazekage was scared shitless at the moment, he had already given order to evacuate the village. He will simply hand over Gara when this guy will come. There is no way in hell he's gonna fight that monster. He will simply wash his hand of the Jinchuriki. At the moment, you can say it was a size of 10 times the explosion power of any normal Bijudama. As Naruto simply looked toward the place where previously 2S rank shinobis were standing there. Naruto simply scoffed. This low realm was truly too weak for his taste as he quickly arrived in the direction of the hidden sand village. As he finally landed, as he simply walked towards the direction where he could already sense the fear of the people of the hidden sand village. They had already evacuated. Many of the shinobis has also ran off because of the fear. As Naruto finally arrived, as he saw Kazekage was standing there and a bound Gaara was also present at the gate of Suna. As Naruto was really surprised at this. He knew that these people were weak, but he did not know that these people were that scared of him. As Gaara was unconscious at the moment and several seals, Naruto could see that these seals were truly rubbish. They would not be able to hold this Jinchuriki bag for more than half an hour. As Naruto simply scoffed at it as he looked toward the scared shinobi who were shivering at the moment. As Naruto simply smirked towards them as Kazekage stepped forward. I do not who you are, but we do not want any trouble. Just take Gaara and leave our village alone. As Naruto looked towards him with a smirk on his face. I always thought that you're a stupid person, but it seemed that you're not that stupid, so take it as a compliment. As afterward, Naruto simply grabbed Gaara and a portal appeared behind him as Naruto threw him inside of it and decided to leave. After all, these people were not of his taste after all. At the moment, he needs to open the gate to the second realm and then afterward, it would be easy. After all, in the second realm, the rules of the 9 realms would not apply to him. He would be able to use all of his power. Only the lowest realm is, simply bounded by those rules. Once he had more than half of his power, he would be able to defy the rules of the upper realm, and conquering up to the 9th realm would be far too easy. And he would take care of this lowest realm once he is the emperor in the 9th realm. As Naruto simply nodded in his mind, afterward he decided to leave, but before he went far too long, as a gigantic fireball rushed in the direction of Naruto. Naruto stopped as he looked down to see that it was none other than Jiraiya who has finally arrived in the place. As Gamabunta was panting hard, he has ran for far too long and at the moment he was low on chakra, but they were able to sense the guy. After all, Jiraiya was already in his sage mode and Ma and Pa were already on his shoulder as Pa spoke up. Jiraiya boy, but I'm sensing it is not normal. It is not chakra. We have to leave now. As Jiraiya was confused as Ma spoke up. This power, it is too demonic, too dark, Jiraiya. We have to leave. As Jiraiya quickly shook his head. No matter what, he was the shinobi of a village of Konoha, so he had to protect it. This guy was too much of a danger, and he had a hunch that the things that are going on with Minato being targeted by all the Elemental Nation would definitely be linked to this guy. But he was at the moment flying in the sky, but he was able to get his attention. So he was confident that this guy would come. He had already prepared a seal. No matter how powerful this guy is, he would be able to seal him off and seal his chakra off. Then he would be able to take him down. He was confident in his skills. And he already had the kunai which Minato had gave him. If things get out of hand, he would simply summon Minato and both of them working together. He doubted that whoever this guy was would be able to take them on. As Kamabunta spoke up, Jiraiya, I'm already out of chakra, so I have to leave. After saying that, he simply disappeared as Jiraiya simply nodded, landing on the ground. While Naruto also started to descend to the ground, Jiraiya was ready for anything but closer Naruto got. As more confused Jiraiya got, finally Naruto landed around 100 feet of Jiraiya. As Jiraiya was confused as he let his guard down. Naruto, what are you doing here? As Naruto looked toward Jiraiya with a smirk on his face as he said, what do you think, Godfather? At this, Jiraiya was confused, but suddenly realization started to come to his mind. No, no, it was simply not possible. How is this even possible? After all, Naruto was just not even on the level of a genin, not even, you can say, close to it. So how is this even possible for him to be that guy who's taking the Jinchurikis from all the villages, even take down the hidden, you can say, hidden mist village? And by the look of it, the direction he was coming from, he had already taken care of the hidden sand village as well. As Jiraiya gritted his teeth, Naruto, this is not the time for the jokes. Tell me, what are you doing here? Are you working with that guy? Tell me who he is, and I will give a good word to your father so not to punish you too harshly. You has already betrayed the village, Naruto. So tell me, who is the guy and who is your accomplice? As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya. Huh, poor old godfather. Always had no brains what to speak of. Always too much of a, you can say, scare to do anything on his own, always being told off what to do by your sensei and then by your student. As Naruto simply laughed as Ma spoke up, Jiraiya, this boy, the amount of power we are sensing from him, he's definitely the guy we are looking for. As Jiraiya was truly confused as he quickly shook his head, tell me, Naruto, is it the result of the experimentation of, you can say, Orochimaru? What he had done to you? As Naruto looked towards him. Orochimaru, huh? Well, you did a good thing mentioning his name. I still have to take care of him. I almost forgot about that guy. As Jiraiya shook his head, that is not the answer of my question, Naruto. As Naruto simply shook his head, you want answers? Well then, here, have it. Afterward, Naruto simply pointed his hand as the small beam quickly entered in the forehead of Jiraiya, as well as both of the toads who were confused, but suddenly their eyes widened. They saw the previous life of Naruto, how miserable he was, how he was framed and finally got killed because of Menma, and how his family didn't even care about it. Even Ma and Pa were surprised by the treatment, but when the next thing they saw, going to the upper realms and then entering into the demon realm and finally becoming the emperor there, challenging from the second to the eighth realm and finally challenging the emperor of the ninth realm to become the emperor there, and all the things that were going on in his life, they were truly shocked. They saw as Jiraiya shook his head. How is this even possible? He knew the treatment of Naruto, but honestly, he did not care much about it. After all, from the very young age, he was close to Menma. So he was more favorable to him, but he did not knew that his treatment was that miserable. But going into becoming a demon emperor, the things Naruto had done there, he had truly become corrupt and evil, and now he was here. Could it be? As now he looked towards Naruto in utter fear. Honestly, Jiraiya, I do not care about this realm. What I want is all the bijus and using its power to ascend to the second realm once again. Afterward, it would be easy for me to go to the ninth realms. But at the moment, I am stuck here. So that is the reason what I am doing. So if you were to leave, I will not, you can say, do anything to you, but I will take care of the Namikaze Uzumaki family. I only want them to die miserably and screaming, just that. So, other than that, nothing much. You can take care of your village and all that. And Jiraiya shook his head. It doesn't matter, Naruto. From the things you have told me, your power is, you can say, already suppressed by the rules of the realms, which I did not knew existed. But it doesn't matter. I will stop you here. I will protect the family. Minato is like a son to me, and Menma is like grandson. I know that what happened to you was wrong, but that was in the past life. They have not done that to you just yet. As Naruto started to laugh, as I said, I have already suppressed my demonic instinct to talk to you in such a manner. But it seemed that I was too merciful. But it doesn't matter, Jiraiya. I will have my way, either with or without your consent. As he looked towards Jiraiya, as Jiraiya already had prepared a gigantic Rasengan, as he released the attack towards Naruto, as Naruto simply, you can say, stand there as Rasengan slammed into his body, making a gigantic explosion there. As Jiraiya quickly started to go through handstand, Fire Phoenix release. As it released a gigantic Fire Phoenix, as the Shadow Clone appeared above the Phoenix, releasing a wind attack, making the Phoenix turn into pure white. He was already in the Sage mode, so his attacks were already a lot more powerful. As to attack once again, hit the place where Naruto was as Jiraiya quickly, you can say, drew the seal which was already drew and slammed it on the ground as several, you can say, seals appeared on the ground and rushed in the direction. From the things he has seen, these attacks would only distract Naruto for seconds. So he had to do what he had to do as he quickly, you can say, released the seal and powered it with Sage mode and the natural energy. Both Ma and Pa were silent at the moment. They already knew what was going on here and they knew that this seal, no matter how powerful it is, will not be able to subdue the Demon Emperor. As finally, you can say, the dust settled down as seal was already present there and Jiraiya was pumping gigantic amount of natural energy inside of it. It is over, Naruto. I know that I would not be able to kill you, but this seal will subdue your chakra and then we will have a talk about it. And you will only spend a few years in the jail, and afterward we will use Yamanakas to, you can say, seal off your memories of your other life. It is good for you. As Naruto simply looked towards Jiraiya as if he was looking towards a clown. You know, Jiraiya, you're truly pitiful. Afterward, Naruto simply started to walk as Seals tried to stop him by using several chains. But the chains were, you can say, shattering into thousands of pieces, not even, you can say, being able to hold him. For a second, as Jiraiya was truly taken aback, he was confident that his seal would be able to stop Naruto. It would be able to stop even a rampaging Biju. But it seemed that he had underestimated the power, even though he had seen the thing, but he had not felt the power of the upper realms. As Naruto simply walked outside of the seal like it was nothing. As he looked towards Jiraiya, with a, you can say, as if he was looking towards a child. As Naruto simply shook his head, afterward he disappeared, and the next moment Jiraiya was slammed out of the Sage mode violently as he looked down to see that a hole had already appeared on his stomach. As Naruto was simply walking away, as both of the doors were already in Naruto's hand, as Naruto squeezed his hand, and just like that, black flames appeared, burning down both of Ma and Pa as they were screaming and trying to reverse summon themselves, but it was already too late. As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya, who was barely holding all, he was using a seal to heal himself. As Jiraiya put his hand in his pouch, trying to grab the kunai of Minato, but Naruto simply looked towards Jiraiya pitifully as he simply, you can say, brought his hand from his pocket looking for this. Godfather, as Jiraiya eyes widened, it was the kunai of Minato as Naruto burnt it with black fire. And just like that, the seal in Jiraiya's hand, which was healing him, was also burned with unknown fire, and the hole was still present there as Jiraiya was bleeding hard as he said, Naruto, as but before he could say anything, he was already dead. As Naruto simply looked toward the dead body of Jiraiya and quickly shook his head and flew in the sky. After all, he still had four other parts of the seas to gather. While, in the other hand, Sage of the Sixth Path was looking towards his brother. So tell me, do you have any suggestion how to handle this guy? He had already taken 5 parts of the seal, only 4 are remaining. If he gets his hand on it, you know the upper realms will invade this realm and then we will not be able to do anything about it. As Hamura was looking toward the direction where Naruto previously was, they were unable to track where or what he was doing. They were only able to see when he released his energy. As Hamura shook his head, even if we were to combine our powers together, brother, we are already dead. We cannot use it that easily. As both, you can say, Hagoromo and Hamura looked towards each other. There was only one way to handle this situation now. It seemed that after years, they would have to choose the lesser evil. After all, they have to free their mother to handle this guy. As Hamura looked towards Hagoromo, Hagoromo, are you sure about it? You know our mother, he will try to enslave everyone here. It is not exactly a lesser evil. That guy has spared many of the villages if he gets his hand on the Bijus. So I do not think that he is that evil. He only wants to leave this realm. But if he were to open the gate, then I doubt that he will close it, and that would be a lot more trouble for us. As Hagoromo sighed, that was true. It seemed that his mother was not the solution here. There was only one way to handle the situation now. As he looked towards his brother, brother, I was contacted by once by an upper realm family. That was the family of the second realm who wanted to, you can say, wanted this realm to submit to him. In return, they will give us some advantages and things like that. And they will not cause much harm to the people here. So, what do you think? It seems that there is only one way. We have to contact them if we want to, you can say, repel this guy. If the gates were opened, all the families of the upper realm will invade here and all the resources will be taken, and this realm would be nothing more than their harvest. But if we were to make contact with one family, then we will give them the exclusives here, and they should be able to handle this guy. As Hamura was silent for some time, it does look like a good idea. If only one family were to come here, then there would not be much bloodshed and things like that, and they should be able to handle it. But if this guy were to open the gates just like that, it would not be, you can say, that easy for them. As he let out a sigh, honestly, these were all bad choices, but it seemed that they have to choose one either way. As he looked towards his brother and nodded nonetheless, it seemed that it is time for them to contact the Upper Realm family. Now, let us get back to Konoha. Minato, who was doing some paperwork, had a bad feeling. He do not know what is going on here, but he really, really had a bad feeling. But before he could do or say anything, as a toad appeared in front of him, for a moment, Jiraiya, as Minato thought it was a sensei, but it turned out to be a small toad. As Toad looked towards Minato, summoner of the Toad clan, you are summoned by the Great Elder and the Council of the Toads. As you can say, Jira, as Minato was a bit confused, but as a summoner, he had to go meet the Great Elder. As Minato simply nodded, as he gave a signal, as the Ambu appeared. As Minato gave him some information, afterward, Minato and the Toad disappeared in a puff of smoke. As Minato had finally arrived in the realm of the Toads, as Minato looked around to see if he is being welcomed by Ma and Pa, but you can say confused confusing him that all the toads were looking for whatever reason sad. It seemed that some of the toads has died. He had a bad feeling about it. Could it be? As he looked in the direction where Ma and Pa were supposed to be, but they were only, you can say, some of the relatives of Ma and Pa looking sad. As Minato, being a genius, has already figured out something has went wrong, but he had to meet the great elder toad sage as soon as possible. After all, he will be able to answer his questions. Gamabunta was not here. As he finally arrived where Great Elder Toad Sage was, and Gamabunta was also present there, and two other toads were also present there who were looking old and smug at the same time. As Gamabunta was looking towards them pretty angrily, as Minato finally entered, as Gamabunta spoke up, Great Elder Toad Sage, our summoner, Minato Namikaze, has arrived. As Great Elder Toad Sage opened his eyes as he looked towards Minato. Minato boy, it is good to see you here. We have some bad news for you, as Minato had a bad feeling about it. It seemed that Ma and Pa and Jiraiya boy has fallen in battle. Minato was taken aback in utter shock. How is this even possible? Jiraiya sensei was not exactly a normal shinobi. He was a S rank shinobi and a sage mode. He was a SS rank shinobi. How is that? He was taken down when Ma and Pa were with him. How is this possible? Could it be that is the guy who has taken them down? No, it was not possible, as Minato was panicking for a moment but quickly calmed himself down. As the Hokage, he cannot, you can say, break down just like that. As he closed his eyes and opened them, give me all the information you have. As Gamabunta nodded and gave the information that how he had bring it to the direction and how that guy was coming from the direction of the sand village. He did not see it clearly, but that guy clearly had blonde hair. As Minato gritted his teeth, once again there was only a vague information. Blonde hair. There were so many people with blonde hair all across the elemental nation. Blonde hair and red eyes. While on the other hand, Gamabunta gave the information as he looked towards the great elder toad sage, who nodded. Well, even though it is a bad news, but we still have to welcome the new elders of our Toad clan. As we look in the direction where two small toads were present there, these two are gonna replace Ma and Pa as the new elders of the Toad clan, and they will take care of the, you can say, signing of the new summoners. as Minato gave them a greeting, even though he liked mind power more, but as the Hokage, he still needed the, you can say, diplomatic relationship with the summoning clans, as both of the elders looked towards Minato disdainfully but nodded nonetheless. He was a powerful summoner, so they will not say anything for now, anyways. As Minato afterward gave a goodbye and afterward disappeared from the realm of the doors. As Naruto was now flying in the direction of the lightning village, he already knew two of the Jinchurikis are present there. Afterward, he would only need to find one of the missing Jinchuriki from the hidden mist village, and then his dear sisters would also had to hand over the bijou, which is present inside of them, as Naruto smirked at it. But before he could say anything, his eyes widened. The gates of the upper realms were open. But how? How this is possible? He still has not gathered the, you can say, the key. As I look in the direction where the gate was present, as he released all of his energy, and just like that, he disappeared violently in the direction where the gates were open. But before he was able to reach there, the gates were once again closed. As Naruto gritted his teeth, how? Who is the one who is playing with him? Who dares to play with the demon emperor? Afterward, lightning started to dance all across the elemental nations, shook violently as the Konoha, the rock village, all the villages shook so violently that it was that they are gonna fall in any second. But Naruto calmed himself down, while on the other hand, in the place of the gates, Hamura let out a sigh of relief. He had opened it for a second, and Hagoromo quickly rushed inside and he closed it. But that guy was able to sense it that easily. Whoever this guy was, it was not that simple. He was only hoping that the families of the second realm would be able to handle this guy. And he was confident that if the experts were to come here, they should be able to handle this guy. After all, he was young, but his energy, it was so dark, it was almost demonic. But he quickly shook his head. After all, it was up to his older brother to handle this situation now. And finally, Naruto created his state. But it seemed that his, you can say, hunch was clear. It seemed that the damn sage of the sixth path was still present in this world. He had not died like the stories told, and now he's toying with him. He must have went to the upper realm for some help, as Naruto simply started to laugh inwardly as if the second realm would be a challenge to him. They would come here, their powers would be suppressed, but who is more powerful among them? He was once the emperor of the eighth realm, the emperor of the demon realm, and he had defeated the emperor of the ninth realm. If it was not of the rebellion of the low realms, he would not have been defeated. But he quickly shook his head. At the moment, he just needed the keys. Afterward, he once again rushed in the direction of the hidden lightning village to take care of the business. And before he was able to reach it in the upper realm, as Hagoromo looked towards the elders of the family. This was Ashura family. And in front of him were the elders, as Hagoromo was shaking inwardly. The amount of power he was sensing from this guy, he was like an ant compared to them. Even their bodyguards were stronger than him. And this is the deal. As the elder of Ashura clan looked towards Hagoromo with an amused expression on his face. So you're telling that someone was able to sneak into your realm and now he's trying to open the gates. So that is the reason you're coming here. But you did a good thing, and we will accept your offer. Do not worry. We will not, you can say, harm the residents of the lower realms if they were able to acknowledge us as their leader. As Hagoromo greeted his state, but there was little he could do about it. But he simply nodded at it, as the elder simply nodded. Alright then, my son. As he gave a signal, as a guy who was looking pretty powerful, his aura was also explosive. As he looked towards his father, Father, you will go there and take care of this guy. And afterward, we will send our armies to, you can say, take care of the other business. As he simply nodded at that, his name was Makoto Ashura. As he looked towards his father with a smirk on his face, he was one of the 9 big families of the second realm. And even though they were at the moment ninth place, but once they take over the lower realm, they should be able to advance pretty quickly using their means to take care of the business. As a smirk inwardly, finally it was time for him to shine and take over Ashura family once the time came. As Agoromo simply nodded and gave in the direction, and they finally arrived to the place. As they quickly opened the gates, as Naruto once again sensed the gate, but did not follow this time. After all, he will open the gates on his own. And just like that, you can say Ashura and you can say Hagoromo finally arrive as Makoto looked towards the realm. Honestly, this realm was truly weak. But the resources and the natural energy present here was truly abundant. He should be able to use it to his advantage. As a smirk inwardly, as he said, tell me, where is this guy? As you can say, Hamura, who was looking towards this guy, was also pretty scared. After all, the power he was sensing from this guy was also pretty much. As he simply nodded and gave the general direction, as Makoto simply laughed and rushed in the direction where Naruto was. Naruto stopped. After all, he had sensed this guy who was coming here, and a smirk came to Naruto's face. He already knew who this guy was. This was, you can say, one of the generals of the second realm, which has tried to, you can say, take him down. But it was too easy to take care of him. He was truly a coward. So let him come. He wanna see if in this new world, in when he was back in time, if this guy has gained some courage. As Naruto simply shook his head, even though he doubted it. Finally, you can say Makoto finally arrived in the general direction. He had the energy of fire around him. He was like a rocket of red fire. As finally he appeared in front of Naruto as his fire died down. As he looked towards Naruto, so you are from the other realm who has invaded this realm and trying to take over it, huh? I must say that that is rather courageous of you. But let me tell you, I am the lord of the 9th family of the second realm, the Ashura family, Makoto Ashura. So tell me, which lower family do you belong to? After all, you're not from the 9 families of the second realm. I already know their features and you do not match them. As Naruto looked towards him, well, I must say, I did not expect you to be here, but it doesn't matter. You want to know which family do I belong to? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not from the second realm to begin with. As you can say, when Makoto heard it, he was shocked for a second, but no, he quickly shook his head. The third and the fourth realm would definitely not come to the first realm to take care of things. After all, this is the lowest realm, so why should they come here? He simply shook his head. You're trying to bluff me, but it doesn't matter. I will take care of you, and then we will take over this lower realm to advance the prestige of our family. As he looked towards Naruto with amused expression. So tell me, which family do you belong to? After saying that, he disappeared. His arm was surrounded by fire as he appeared in front of Naruto. The sky was almost like it was raining fire as he released a gigantic, you can say, fire dragon towards Naruto. As the fire dragon opened his mouth, trying to swallow Naruto whole. As Naruto looked towards the attack, amused. As finally a huge explosion of fire took place. As the sky was almost crying fire at this point, as the elemental nations were shaking, as Hagoromo and Hamura, who were looking towards it, were also, you can say, had solemn expression on their faces. After all, they knew that this guy would be taken care of, but the fate of the elemental nation would forever be changed. So they did not have anything to be happy about. Finally, the, you can say, fire died down as Makoto simply scoffed. Too much of a weak. He must be a some, you can say, lower family who must have gotten some treasure to accidentally come here and use it for their own advantage. He was about to leave to give good news to his father, but before he could leave, he was, you can say, stopped, no, frozen in his place. Something was off as he looked back in utter shock as dark purple energy was now surrounding Naruto. You want to know which realm I am from? Well then, allow me to tell you which realm I am from. As Naruto finally looked towards Makoto, his eyes were pitch black. In center of it, there was only a dark red pupil as Makoto took a step back in utter shock and fear. No, it was simply not possible. It was demon realm. But even if it was a demon realm, no, it was not the second realm's demon realm. Even in the demon realm, there are stages like 1 to 9, just like the normal realms. So this guy was from the demon realm, but the amount of power he was sensing, it was definitely not the second realm of that place. As he took a step back, no, it was simply not possible. He quickly brought out his ultimate weapon. It was a sword glowing with yellow energy. Die, demon! As after saying that, the sword was surrounded by a fire. It was a treasure of their family, and he, as the heir, had it with him. Only one attack would be more than enough to take care of any demon, as he pumped all of his energy into it to end it. Just like that, the fire surrounded the sword. It was like a tornado of fire as he released it towards Naruto with a gigantic roar, as once again fire rained down from the sky as everything was burned down. This whole forest was taken down as all the elemental nations were still shaking violently, as while Hagoromo and Hamura, who were watching this, were in utter shock. They've seen the attack of this guy and the amount of power from that other Naruto guy, and they were scared. They were scared that this guy would not be enough, and their, you can say, efforts would be in vain. Finally, you can say the dust finally settled down as Makoto was confident that he has taken care of the problem. After all, this was the treasure of the second, you can say, realm, and more than powerful enough to take care of any demon. As finally, when the dust settled down, one finger could be seen, as with one finger, Naruto has stopped the attack of the sword as Makoto was taken aback. You know, it was a good toy, but too bad. It was just that, a toy. And after saying that, cracks started to appear all over the sword, and just like that, it shattered into 1,000 pieces. As Makoto was taken aback, how this possible? No, 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 it was the treasure of the second realm, the most powerful sword in his family. As how could it be that it was taken down by a demon? But anyways, I have things to do. So before you die, know that you died in the hands of a demon emperor, as Naruto's voice changed into, you can say, a heavy tone. As Makoto was taken aback, a shadow of a demon appeared behind Naruto, and the amount of demonic energy he was sensing, he had no doubt that this guy was from the demon realm, but definitely far above the level of a second realm. And just like that, a huge, you can say, energy appeared in Naruto's hand as Naruto slammed it into the gut of Makoto, and just like that, he was erased from this realm, just like it. As Naruto sipped his scarf, finally returning back to his normal state. Well then, as he looked back in the direction of the, you can say, the hidden lightning village and disappeared from the place, it was time for him to get his hand on the other parts of the key, while Hagoromo and Hamura could not believe their eyes. Their trump card was taken down just like that. That was the heir of the Makoto family. If they were to return to them to tell them this, they have no doubt that they would be erased just like that, and this whole realm would be destroyed. As Hagoromo looked towards Hamura, and both of them could see fear in the eyes of the other. It was a good thing that they had closed the gate, otherwise they would be in for a huge trouble. But they had no doubt that this realm, no, they have made enemies of the Ashura clan, and they will have their revenge. But hey guys, I'm gonna end this part here. So hopefully guys you enjoyed it. For the next part, the like goal is gonna be 200 likes, 80 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. And yeah guys, please subscribe to my manhwa recap channel. The link is in the description. So please guys do so. I would be really grateful to you. So yeah guys, see you soon. Peace.